everywhere I see a yellow coming through, I've added yellow in here. I have gone over with straight phthalo blue in here to just give this more life back here. And I've just darkened a little bit of our shadows. So in order to make this lighter here, I need to make everything else around it darker. So I'm just going in with clear water and washing some of this pigment out here. And I can even blot it with my brush just to make this lighter. Then I'm going to push this really dark right here where this line comes up here. Comes over here. I do want some of this left in here, some highlights left in here. Actually, this is lighter at the top. So we'll go ahead and put the dark in at the bottom there. We're going to just wash this whole area over here with the more warm purple. You can just keep going over these washes until you get the look you want. I am losing some of my definition over here though, so I'm going to be a little careful with that. I don't want these coming out so much right here. There is one right here though. We'll just kind of indicate that. And there is one right here. So we'll indicate that a little bit. Just by blotting it out and working around it. Keeping it soft though. And again, sucking up the water. And then just going over this with water. So I like this definition right here. Okay, so we'll see how that dries. Basically, I just keep doing this until I'm happy with what I've got. Just giving the illusion of some shadows there. I think this one might come all the way down here. So now I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to start going inside some of these other colors, the actual grape. So I'm just going to take pretty much that rose mixture with a little bit of the yellow in it. And going around here and adding some of this yellow, or this orange rather. And then where it gets darker down here, I'll just go into my darker mixture. And because grapes are mottled, you don't want it to be an absolutely smooth finish. You want some indications of movement there. And there's a shadow that comes here, basically the form of the grape. That goes there. It's a little pinker over here. So I'll just work back and forth between these colors on the grapes until I get what I want. So this one has pretty much a lot of the red in it. So let's move our reds up here. That's the Pyro Red. If I add the quinacridone rose and the Pyro Red together, I'll get a nice, really vibrant red on the pink side, which is very pretty. And over here I've got my more orange mixture. Then I need more of a violet mixture, so I need to add some of the ultramarine blue, the phthalo blue over in here somewhere to get that nice purple. That was a little too much. So if you get too much, just wipe it out. And more of the Pyro Red. So we have warm shadows and cool shadows on these grapes. There's that nice red. There's that nice blue, very blue purple. I actually want that to be a little bluer. Not quite that. You've got to watch phthalo blue. Once you put phthalo blue in somewhere, you've pretty much got it everywhere. Let's take some of that out. And it's really easy to mix in these dishes like this. Just add a little bit of phthalo blue. That'll give us, we're trying to get that burnished color right there. It's a violet, but it's a little bit of a pinkier violet. Okay, it's delicate to get just the right mixture there. That's pretty close. Okay, so for this grape, it's a much more of a truer red here. So we're going to go in this really nice dark red and start on this side over here. And put our shadows in. See how light this mixture is. I start very lightly. And then the shadow comes here. Actually goes around here. And we've got a pinker red in here. I'm going to go right over that yellow with that. Here. Then we've got a really vibrant Pyro Red right here. Comes here, comes along here, and comes back up into here, into this whole area. So we're just going to lay that in. Remember, I'm painting on an angle, so my washes are going to wash down to the bottom. Okay, so let's skip over to this one and put that darker color in here. Going right over that stem. It's very dark down here. My washes are very watery, so we're just going to drop just a basic, this is just our under painting here. So if I get a buildup down here, all I have to do is suck it up with a thirsty brush. Blot my brush. Okay, now this, let's move up to this one. This one has a much more of an orange hue up here. An orangey red. This one back here also is the orange. Let's clean this up. Let's just take that right into there so we don't have a hard edge there. This is even brighter up in here, darker down at the bottom. Just soften that with water. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're just going to build these gradually. I'm going to let these dry so that I can get back into these. I want a little more of a true yellow up in here though, where this is bright. I want this very bright up in here. And it actually comes down like that. I want this one very bright back here, especially here. Then we'll take it into a little redder mixture as it goes down. Now when you're painting with a limited palette, you're not going to get the exact colors that you see on the reference photo always, because you are painting. Okay, so I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to let it dry like this. All right. And we'll be back. There's been quite a change in the hues of these grapes. So we're going to have to push that color a lot more vibrant to get the look we want. As you can see, so I'm going to push these pigments a little stronger, and the way to do that is just to add more of the straight pigment into your mixes. So here's the Pyro Red. Here it is in the darker mix. So we'll be using less water in our mix. Let's put a little Payne's Gray in there. Give us that nice blush color that we're looking for. Get some lemon yellow up here. Make an orange. It's a nice orange. That was mostly quinacridone magenta. We got some darks going over here. These looser washes. Really want to push this darker though. Let's see if we can get a little more excitement in here. I use the smaller quill brush. So I think we'll go in first to this one up here. Actually, I'm going to go in with a straight lemon yellow over the top of this, just to get that vibrance that we lost. And then I'm going to go in here as well, just to get some more excitement in there, in that mix. And up here as well. And there is a little bit of this in here. There's some down here. There's a little more yellow in the top here. So anywhere that I see the yellow or the oranges, I'm going to drop that in. Where there would be highlights, there's a little bit here. Then I'm going to go right in with the darker, more vibrant red. Drop it right in here. Let those mix. Just pushing it darker. Suck up anything that's too much. And that's a better color to me. So let's just go over this and see what we get here. Just using the tip of the brush just adding a little more saturated color in here. Catching that from dripping down, because remember I'm painting on an angle, but I do want my darkest darks down at the very bottom, so that doesn't bother me too much that is actually doing that. So let's go in this guy. Just go over everything on him. Except, actually that's very red right there, so we'll add that blossom in a bit. So we want that darker color over here, because we are always painting form. So we want that, the darkest dark, and it's going to be very blue up here once we take the masking fluid off. There is a darker shape right here. This is all darker here. Okay, and let's get that nice clean edge there. Okay, that's better. That's looking better. Suck up anything that's gonna blossom back on us. Okay, let's make up a little bit more of this dark. That was our Pyro Red and Payne's Gray. It makes a nice violet. Most people don't realize how useful Payne's Gray is. It's a very useful color. So we are going to go in this. This is quite dark here. Actually, it's darker over here, so let's do this one first. I'm going to go over the whole grape this time. Just the more colorful our subject matter is, the more interesting. I'm just going to play up that blush right there. Then I'm going into my red, more of a pure red here. Here, coming into here. It's a bit of a warmer red under here. So we're just going to touch that violet color there. Come around there. Now this one, because the sun is coming from this way, it's going to be quite a bit brighter. So I think I want to go more with a Pyro Red. Excuse me, yeah, Pyro Red, brighter mixture here on top. And that's mixed with the quinacridone rose, so you get more of a pinky red. And then we have a little bit more of a, bring that on down into there. We've got more of a violet color here in that blush, so we'll just touch that in there. And I want that in front of this, so this has to be darker back here where those meet. So let's push that darker underneath here. So there's a shadow. It's really a little too wet to do that right now, so we'll have to do that in a subsequent layer. There. And we'll just wet this so that it's not harsh. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, come up here, some of these darks. Just looking at how that goes. And just softening the edges with water so we don't have a hard edge there. I'm really liking this one. Oh, let's get some more dark over here. And as long as these are still wet, I can continue to do this. Just softening. Okay. So let's get some of that quinacridone rose with a little bit of the Pyro Red. And if you mix the quinacridone rose and the Pyro Red together, you get a very close approximation of quinacridone red. So let's just drop that in, just so we get some more color in here. Since this is so wet, I'm actually going to let this dry upside down so that it comes back this way a little bit. Keep those edges soft. Okay, going with a little red on this one. Just model that a little bit. And just pick up anything that's too harsh. And this is basically the process that I use to layer and do these paintings. So let's try this and see what we have.